Blessings, abundant souls. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Abundantly Ever After show. I'm your host, Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer. I am so excited and just wanted to share a message that really landed with me today. I have been wanting to record, and it seems like every time someone is either doing yard work or tree maintenance, and there's always some noise in the background. But I'm not going to let that stop me today. We are going to get into the things. So there are first a couple of quick little announcements, adjustments that I have made after really sitting and just kind of meditating, feeling into what I wanted and needed to create. I decided that I was not going to do two separate shows. I am going to merge everything under the Abundantly Ever After show because that is the focus of my work, and there will be segments that focus on things specific to single mothers, single parenting, all of those things. So I'm really grateful for that. I took time to deactivate and consolidate a lot of my social media pages. So now the only pages that you can find me on are the Spiritual Love Healer. And I have also a page for my business, Spiritual Love Sanctuary, which aren't really active at this moment. And those are only on Facebook and Instagram. Everything else is going to be the Spiritual Love Healer. So everything I got is going to be in one place. And that to me feels so good and so nourishing. So that was the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about, I saw a post on Instagram that was talking about how people use different alternatives for therapies, right? So like, you can say, oh, shopping is therapeutic for me, or I go and get my nails done and that's therapeutic for me. And they were saying that therapy was their therapy. And I really love that. I think that's a very beautiful thing to actually have therapy be the thing that is really healing to your mind, right? And your emotions and all of those things. But I also don't want to take away from the people that find their therapy in other things that are positive and beneficial. Because not everyone can afford to go to therapy. And I don't want to say that not everyone needs therapy in that way. But if you are doing something and it works for you and it gives you the space to reflect, the space to, express yourself, then do that. Don't feel that you're not doing what you need to do for yourself. If it's working, fantastic. If you are able to, see a therapist, if you feel that's what you need to do and you can do that, fantastic. But if you're not able to invest in that, then, don't beat yourself up or feel bad that you have alternative methods for dealing with your emotions and mental health. Like I have a lot of things that I do that are therapeutic for me. And that's not to say that they are a substitute for therapy, but they're what help me to stay grounded and to stay focused. They help me reflect on myself. So journaling is one of those things. Journaling is therapeutic. Swimming is therapeutic. I don't swim yet, but that's therapeutic. Dancing for me was something that I used to do a lot. That was extremely therapeutic for me. So, and meditation is therapeutic. Taking walks, going to sit down by the river, those are things that are very therapeutic and beneficial for my mind, my body, and my soul. I do have some new videos up on the channel and on the website. I started talking about my fitness journey, that as a spiritual practice. And there are two readings that I did. One was the Spiritual Love Forecast. It just kind of gave an overview on the energy of love. And the other was spiritual guidance for this week. So you can check those out over on the Spiritual Love Healer YouTube channel. So why am I here? I wanted to talk about some things that I've been experiencing and how that has opened up some different things for me. So lately I've been feeling a little bit nostalgic, reflecting on the past, and I won't say necessarily feeling down, but just, having some feels. And so every morning I sit down and I do a card of the day practice. I've been working with the Herb Crafters Tarot, which is a very, very beautiful deck and one that has been sharing some potent wisdom with me over the past several weeks since I've been working with it. Today, the card that I pulled was the World card, and this card represents accomplishment. It represents success. It also represents cycles, cycles closing, cycles beginning. And it represents, of course, completion. When I pulled this card, it was a reminder to me that these things that I was reflecting on, right? And these could be anything, past relationships, things that you've done that maybe, you wish that you could have done differently. Or just looking back at the struggles that I've had in my life, like, dang, like if I had just did X, Y, and Z sooner, I would have been here. Or if I had have had this support when I was starting my business, I would have been able to grow it to this level by now. So just looking at different things in my life where I feel that maybe I fell short in some way, or things just did not turn out in the way in which I had expected. In doing that, I gave myself the grace, because we're human. We have emotions. We're allowed to feel things about our life, about the choices that we've made or the circumstances, right? So there's nothing wrong with that at all. However, I was reminded that, each of these things were part of my journey and my path. Like I was able to learn something from every misstep or every misaligned choice that I made. It taught me something. The people that came into my life that I probably should have avoided, they all taught me something. I wouldn't be who I am or where I am, nor would I have the wisdom or the experiences that I have now, had I not had those experiences. So in that as well, it reminded me of a mantra that I used to say often. It's still something that comes to mind, but I don't say it as much. But it is, I am happy, healthy, healed, whole, and complete. And as I reflected on each of those words, I am happy. I'm extremely happy with what I've accomplished, with who I am and where I am in my life right now. I am healthy. I have sound mind, body, and soul. And I'm working on improving, especially my physical health. I am healed. I am no longer the weak, broken version of myself who is afraid, who is walking in fear, who's always afraid that someone was going to harm her or use her. I'm not that victim anymore. I am whole. I am whole. I am able to fully embrace and accept every aspect of who I am. I lack nothing. I feel good about me. Like there's nothing that anybody could come up to me and say that would make me feel bad or ashamed about any of the things that I've done or experienced in my life. And there's such a power that comes through that. And as I held the card, I'm going to post this on my Instagram if you want to take a peek at the card. It's very beautiful. It shows a beautiful mandala or grid of flowers and rainbow colors, and it just embodies all of the elements. And there's this beautiful energy of completion. And even the circle itself is a sacred symbol that represents unity. It represents connectedness. And it just reminds me too, not only of my inner energy centers, also known as chakras, but it also just reminds me of the way in which I am so deeply connected with others, that I'm so deeply connected with my passion and my purpose and my work, and just the beautiful opportunities that are available to me in this lifetime. It is very, very easy for us to have our minds and our hearts poisoned by the things that we see on media, in the news, on social media, in our neighborhoods, where you think that like love isn't real, that love doesn't possibly exist, that only certain people are able to attain success and abundance. And so we place people up on a pedestal while not even giving ourselves the opportunity to tap into our full potential. And another thing about that, right? So we can look at that cycles, right? They come and go. Everything comes and goes. If we look at nature, we have various seasons. Plants, they bloom in their own cycle. As life develops, it develops in a cycle. When one cycle ends, you begin another. And I know for myself, I'm at a point where I am starting a new cycle. And it's overwhelming, but it's also beautiful because it's like I get to create what that is, right? And so there's like, I want to do all the things. I want to do all the things. Like I have a list of goals that I want to accomplish. And maybe I won't do all of them right now or all of them in this lifetime, but it gives me something to look forward to. But it's also like I wake up in the morning and I'm so just open and in awe because I get to choose. And I've shared this before, but for the first time in a very long time, I feel the deepest sense of freedom where there isn't anyone draining me, nor am I limiting myself. And I say that because, if you've ever been in like a toxic or unhealthy relationship, or maybe you were raised that way, you can be filled with a lot of doubt. One of my girlfriends and I were talking about how, out of all the people that she knew, myself and her were like one of the few people that she knew of that really did not have support from our family. But most of her friends and the people that she grew up with, they had a completely different experience. So we were talking about how that impacted us. And it's a beautiful thing because I can look and I can see like these different experiences in my life, having been in an abusive relationship, I can see how that affected me and how that, allowed me to hold myself back in so many ways. And I can see how different things that were planted in me as a child, like how those things held me back. But we all have the option. We all have the opportunity to declare that I am happy, healthy, healed, whole, and complete in spite of what I went through yesterday or 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plus years ago. In spite of all of that, right now, today, you get to choose to come to completion with anything that's not serving you, be it a relationship, be it a habit, be it a thought process, be it a connection with a toxic ass person or family member. You get to choose to be complete with anything that no longer resonates with you, with anything that doesn't feel good to you. And you get to start a new journey of exploration, whether it's exploration of self, or maybe it's exploration of career or creative passions or relationships, your sensuality, your belief system. You get to recreate. You can say, enough of this. I want to get off this ride and I'm going to try something different. And that's the beauty of life. We all have a choice. And unfortunately, a lot of us have been programmed to think that we don't have a choice, to think that we have to get up every day and go to work at a job that we hate, to think that we have to stay in a relationship that isn't fulfilling us, or that we have to stay in contact with our family who does nothing but belittle us. None of that has to be true for you. And you get to decide what makes you feel whole and complete, and then you get to move towards that. And I think that's just such a beautiful, beautiful place to be in, even like within the many things that I had going on, having a community and writing a book and wanting to have all these different things. It was a lot. So I brought them together under one umbrella, one complete thing. And that was just so freeing and so fulfilling for me. It took away a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the overwhelm. And sometimes, we do have too many things. Like you can have our hands in too many pots and then it gets overwhelming. So sometimes if you just say, okay, what can I put down Not forever, but maybe just for right now, so that I can free up my time and my energy to do something truly meaningful, to do something that I really, really love to do. What can I put down? What can I say no to so that I can say yes to what really, really matters to me? And so as we move throughout this last month of 2022, I really want to encourage you to think about what it is you can bring to a close, and also reflect on the ways in which you have grown and evolved, and what cycles or patterns or habits have you already stepped out of, and acknowledge that. Because often we don't give ourselves the time or the space to say, damn, like, I'm not the same person anymore. And that's something that I say to myself often. I'm always looking at me like, yo, I am not the Jovhannah from 6 months ago, let alone a year, 3 years, definitely not 10, 15 years ago. I am new and I am improved. And I'm telling you, 2023, the 2023 version of me, the next version that's coming, is going to be completely unrecognizable, because I know it can only be vastly different because where my mind and my heart is right now today. And I would not be in this place had I not experienced all the fucking challenges, the trials, the tribulations, the misuse, the abuse, being taken advantage of, the ways in which I limited my own self. Like, I wouldn't be able to stand here today and be like, okay, like, it's up. It's up from here. There is no turning back. And if you don't feel that you're in a position where you can propel yourself forward to that magnitude, one, start small. And I talked about that in my fitness journey video. And I'll probably do another video or podcast on that shortly. However, start small. And if you're not even sure where to begin or how to begin, then get support. There's amazing life coaches, spiritual people, healers, therapists. There are people around you and available to you that can help you. Link up in some communities, whether it's a free community or a paid community. I myself am part of a few different communities, and they are very nourishing to me. I'm making sure that I have all my bases covered, that I'm not going at this alone, and that I'm surrounding myself with people who have the same belief systems and the same, hunger for growth and for transformation in their own lives. Set yourself up to win. And before we close, I want to leave you again with this beautiful mantra. Adopt it as your own. Let it be something that you really anchor into, and let the words, don't just say the words, but feel them. Understand what they mean. Journal on them. What does being happy mean to me? What would that look like? I am happy. I am healthy. I am healed. I am whole. I am complete. Let those words guide you. Let them lead you to your abundantly ever after. I love you. I look forward to connecting with you. Please join me inside of the Spiritual Love community, where we are going to be doing transformational and healing work. It is free for you to join. Single mamas, there is a space for you in there as well. You can find out more about the community at spirituallovesanctuary.com/community. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace.